Okay, so the next section I'm going to talk about is the clinical experience, and this is very important. Whether you are international medical graduate or medical students, you did a medical student who did like their medical school here in Canada, it is one of the sections that should be high in your CV because like it will show like how much experience you have. And if you're an international medical graduate who are applying in Canada, of course, making sure to mention the Canadian experience first to highlight that is very important. Consistency is the key here, as I always say. So you're going to start with the title, you did observership, you did an elective, you worked as a physician assistant. I will talk also in the next section about if you're a medical student, how to approach this. And the name of the institution, the city, the province, the country, and who was your supervisor and the year. So when it comes to description, again, like previous sections, you have to write two important things. First, you want to highlight the experiences and the skills that you gained from that clinical experience that goes under the CanMed's roles. So always you start with an active verb, communicated, analyzed, expanded, advocated, collaborated, led, something that show that you have the skills that are part of the CanMed's framework. And the second thing you want to highlight in the description is transferable skills. Let's take this example. So for example, if you did like general internal medicine consultation at the Ottawa Hospital General Campus, sorry, the H here should be capital, and under the supervisor of Dr. let's say John Smith. Okay, so you start with always like so you work with a team. Let's say you are an international medical graduate, but you did this observership and you work with a team, or you did an elective, you worked with a team, or if you're a medical student, you work with a team. So you're showing that you are a good team player, and this is very important for patient-centered care. What are the skills you gained? You performed histories, you perform physical exam. Like if you're doing general internal medicine consultation service, those are the skills that you usually highlight. If you did procedures, this is very important. So these are transferable skills. So whether like this experience is like in your back country or it's in Canada, highlighting transferable skills. If you know how to do paracentesis, whether you do it like in Brazil or whether you do it here, whether you do it in Hamilton or whether you do it in Toronto, if you know how to do basic procedures, those are transferable skills. And the same apply like for obstetrics and gynecology. Let's say you did obstetrics and gynecology at the University of Aleppo, Syria, under the supervision of Dr. XXX. So if you assisted in normal vaginal deliveries and cesarean sections, so those are transferable skills. It's important to highlight this. If you work with other team members, so it's also important to highlight this. So always in the description, two things. One, it's the transferable skill, and the second is the CanMed roles. Okay? And if you participate in teaching, make sure to also highlight that. So like any other section, how would you approach this? Okay, so just let me delete this. Okay, and delete entire row. Okay, so let's take this. Okay, and change the color. Okay, no filling. Okay, no color. And then let's hide everything. And then let's take this and the bottom border. Okay, so this is when it comes to clinical experience. And if you are done with your residency, you're going to update this during your residency when you apply to a fellowship. This document will also come handy. But let's say you are a medical student, you're a Canadian medical student or like an American medical student who are like preparing their CV right now to apply to CARMS. Or let's say you want to highlight you are a medical student, fresh graduate from Ireland or like another country in the world, and you want to highlight what did you do in the intern year. So like medical schools are different. So North American medical schools are usually 4 years. You do 4 years of undergrad and 4 years of medical school, and in the third and the fourth year you do electives. Europe and Middle East, other parts of the world, usually medical school is longer. Some of the medical school you will do an intern year. So you will do your first year of residency in everything. So this is part of your medical school, it's not part of your residency. So you want to highlight your intern year experience. Again, if you have like 14 or 15 electives and you want to highlight them, there is nothing wrong in that. You can include all of your pre-clerkship electives, even if they are not part of the specialty you're applying to. It's normal. Like if you have done, like if you want to do family medicine and you did like some electives in, let's say, internal medicine or electives in something else, but most of your electives are in family medicine, so you still have to, you want to highlight them, because like there is a limited number of electives you can have in any given year. So you write the name of the elective, where was it, the province, the city, and this is important. So you can either write like University of Ottawa, the Ottawa Hospital, or you can write the Ottawa Hospital General Campus, like this example, St. Joseph's Health Centre, Toronto, Ontario. Literally, there is no right or wrong way. It's just matter of preference, and different people have different ways of liking the CV. It's very subjective. How much did you spend there? 1 month or 2 weeks? And if you did something international, let's say you did something in obstetrics and gynecology at University of Beirut Hospital, AUB in Beirut, Lebanon, so you can highlight transferable skills, and you can highlight also something under the CanMed roles. And like any other paragraph, we're gonna no borders, and then we're gonna take this, okay, and we're gonna add the bottom border, okay. So this is how you want to highlight your clinical experience. If you have a extensive clinical experience, you want to make sure to mention the clinical experience high in your CV, because you want to highlight this. Residency, it's mainly about doing clinical work, and more clinical experience you have, this will highlight your experience even more.